Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you've all had a great last couple of months. You probably have noticed that the content on the channel did slow down a little bit here over the Canadian summer, purely down to vacation, time with family, time with the kids, all of which just restricted my available time behind the camera. But as we head into fall, I've done a little bit of thinking around what I think will be some interesting content to share with you over the next couple of months, so I'm really excited to get going again. Now, before I get into that, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you that like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. We passed what I consider to be a fairly major milestone for the channel a few weeks ago. We now have over 1,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. And so much of the success and growth of the channel really comes down to all of you who tune in. So again, thank you. It really does mean a lot. So let's chat about the direction of travel for the channel going forward. Those of you that have been with me from the beginning will know we started out just kind of as a small live streaming channel for some of the endurance races I was running in, some of the weekly races I was running in at the time on iRacing. That's continued to be content that I really enjoy putting out, and that will continue into the fall. A few modifications as to how I'm going to share that content on Twitch as well as YouTube, so I'll talk about that shortly. I then moved the channel into a slightly different direction where we focused on iRacing setup guides, and I got a huge amount of value personally from doing those videos. Some great engagement with the community. I learned a lot about the sim and how to get the most out of it through that. And of course, as the sim is ever evolving, there's always an opportunity to make more videos that are supportive in that space. So that will continue to be a feature of the channel as well. And then really the last thing we introduced was content around the Audi RS6. It was around this time last year, I think, when I started making posts about it. We picked it up in November 2023, and then we released a number of videos about it over the course of this year. Now, I've loved making those videos. They're super fun. They take a lot more planning, though, of course, because I've got to be out and about, and I can't just make them from the sim. So whilst the RS6 will probably still feature on the channel from time to time, it's not going to be the main focus as we head into fall and towards the end of this year. What I'd really like to bring the channel back to, especially as it's been probably a good 6 or 7 months since I made the last iRacing how-to video, is to get back into some of the iRacing setup guides, or we could call them beginner guides. But I think the sim has evolved enough since I made the last video, say on graphics optimization and rig setup, hardware setup, PC setup, that I think I've got some more to share on that, especially as I've been through my own learning journey over the last 6 months, and there's probably some modifications to the advice that I have previously shared as I've learnt more around how to get the most out of the sim. So for the iRacing setup series, this is one of the first things we're going to revisit, and I'm hoping to get the first content out around this at some point in October. And what I really want to do is create some new content in this space around PC setup, rig setup, even things such as cable management and the things to watch out for when you're building a rig and putting the hardware together. I've learned a huge amount over the last couple of years as I've tweaked my rig, I've added things and I've changed things, and I've never really done a comprehensive video on how I build my PCs, how I build my rig hardware, some of the decisions I've made, some of the mistakes that I've made, and how I've kind of remedied them. So there's probably going to be 2 or 3 videos centered around those elements over the next couple of months. I plan to revisit some of the existing content that's on the channel where I think updates are needed, and the first focus will be around the graphics optimization for iRacing. I really enjoyed making the first iteration of that video, but it's probably about 1.5 years since I made it, and of course iRacing has evolved. Earlier this year we got the addition of rain. That of course has had an impact on the graphic settings and would adjust some of my recommendations. I've been through a learning process with rain this year and how to optimize my system, so I'm just excited to share that with you. So we'll be doing a brand new graphics optimization for 2024 for iRacing, It'll be top to tail. It'll talk through setting up the sim for the first time, editing INI files and some of the hidden settings in there, as well as some of the Windows tricks that I've learned over the last 12 months, which I wasn't aware of when I put out the first video. Now, the channel wouldn't have even got off the ground if it hadn't been for some of those early live stream sim races that I did a couple of years ago. That will continue to be a feature of the channel. The endurance races with the team radio, exactly as you've come to expect, that will continue on as we head into 2025. But here's the one difference. I'm desperate to be in the sim more, to do more races, and one way I thought that would be great for me and great for you as an audience is to commit to live streaming a race every Wednesday going forward. So the plan will be a live stream every Wednesday night, Mountain Time. The start time will depend a little bit on which series I'm choosing to run in that particular week, but it will be live streamed to Twitch, which will be something new for me. Link will be in the description, so feel free to hop on over there to catch any of the live streams going forward. But for the YouTube audience, I will be doing highlights and posting those every Thursday night as well. So hopefully that'll be an enjoyable journey for you to follow, the ups and downs of the week in, week out sim racing. I won't necessarily be committed to a single series. I'll probably vary it from week to week depending on car, track combination, just doing something fun, and of course always will be open to feedback. But in that way, you're going to get regular sim racing content every week, as well as some of the other content that should be posted as it comes available. And that is going to be it for this one. Please do let me know if you have any suggestions, feedback, drop a note in the comments around the direction of travel. If you agree, if there's other elements that you'd like us to take a look at. My immediate focus, at least outside of those weekly sim races, will be on the graphics optimization refresh for 2024 for iRacing. Done some early thinking on that. Really excited just to get behind the camera and talk through some of the settings and the updates and what has really made a difference for me since trying to optimize my sim for rain. So really keen to get that shared with you. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting the channel to enable us to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm really excited for what I've got to bring you for the rest of the year.